When Julie had come out in 1972, and I got there in 1973, we were with a volunteer agency, the BOLACs they call them. Our particular one was the Quakers American Friends Service Committee, and we had a small hospital outside of Da Nang in Quang Ngai, and where people who had lost limbs from stepping on landmines could get artificial arms and legs and get going again. So she was a generalist there, and I was a doctor there. And at this point, I was actually coming back into country. I had been out in Laos, actually, and was coming back into Saigon, trying to get back to Quang Ngai before the change of governments took place. It was going very fast. And she was in Da Nang also trying to get back to Quang Ngai. We couldn't get to Quang Ngai. So on that last night in Da Nang, and this is just before she left, they left the city and got on a barge, a big, huge barge, and came down to Kanta, I guess. And I stayed because the Buddhists had invited us to stay. Being that I was a doctor, there was something I could do. The Buddhists were trying to negotiate between the north and the south so that the city wouldn't be all blown up. And it wasn't. That part worked. But you know, I had to say goodbye to Julie, and she was going to. Who knows what was going to happen? Because we just didn't know. I mean, the fun thing about history is we look at it today and we think, because we know how it came out, that such and such must be the case. But of course, in the moment, you don't know what's going on or what's going to happen. And so we were saying goodbye, and she left with many others. And I stayed behind with many others. And so we didn't see each other for about 4 months after this.
So Julie's on her way south with the vast majority of the people thinking it's safe. Tom's staying behind where it's not believed to be safe. So were you fearing for your safety as you stayed behind to work at the hospital?
Well, sure. I mean, I was older than you folks, but not a whole lot older than you folks. And you know how you go where the stuff is happening, you know, and we had been in touch with many people over the time in Vietnam. And one thing about you go to Vietnam and you get attached to the people and the land very quickly. And so we were confident that all the rumors of all the destruction and all the lining people up and shooting them down, we were confident that would not happen. And as it happened, it didn't. But again, had I been in Cambodia and thought that they weren't going to line people up and kill them, but in fact that's what did happen in Cambodia. So choose your revolutions very carefully where you're going to stay.